In this video, we'll look at finding horizontal asymptotes algebraically. Recall the generic definition of a rational function. R of x equals a sub n x to the n plus, and that polynomial continues down to a sub 0 divided by b sub m x to the m, and that continues down to the constant b sub 0. Really all we're concerned about is the leading terms. Again, you don't have to have that memorized. We really just want to look at the leading terms, more specifically their degrees. If the degree of the top is less than the degree of the bottom, the horizontal asymptote is automatically y equals 0. Basically, it's just the x-axis. For example, y equals 2x squared plus 3x plus 1 divided by 10x to the fourth minus 3x plus 8. Really all we care about is the degree of the top being less than the degree of the bottom. Notice that 2 is less than 4. If the degree of the top is smaller, the horizontal asymptote is automatically y equals 0. Then for b, if the degree of the top is equal to the degree of the bottom, then the horizontal asymptote is the line y equals a sub n divided by b sub m. We're looking at a ratio of leading coefficients. Ratio of leading coefficients. For example, if we had 2x cubed plus x plus 7 divided by 5x cubed plus x squared minus 8, notice that the degrees are the same. So the horizontal asymptote would be y equals the ratio of leading coefficients. So 2 over 5. Y equals 2/5. And then C, if the degree of the top is greater than the degree of the bottom, then there is no horizontal asymptote. However, if the degree of the top is 1 more than the bottom, in other words, if n is equal to n plus 1, then we're going to look for an oblique or slant asymptote. We'll talk about that later. In this example, let's look at the horizontal asymptotes. To find the horizontal asymptotes, we simply compare the degrees. The degree of the top is 2. The degree of the bottom is 3. Since the top has a smaller degree than the bottom, then the horizontal asymptote is simply y equals 0. There's no work. It's just y equals 0, the x-axis. In the second example, notice that we're going to compare degrees again. The degree of the top is 6. The degree of bottom is also 6. If the degrees are the same, then the horizontal asymptote is a ratio of leading coefficients. So the leading coefficients are 5 and 2. So the horizontal asymptote is y equals 5/2. Remember, when finding horizontal asymptotes, we simply compare degrees of the top and the bottom.